So what was that like seeing ghosts, spirits, entities, whatever it was? What did you see and how did it feel?
Well, when I was younger, I was completely not scared because when you're younger, you're just more pure. So, like, you're just kind of really seeing the spirit for what it is. It wasn't anything scary. But then when you tell your parents, like, oh, there's an old lady, and then the neighbors are like, oh, the old lady, like, used to live here. Like, she died in the back room, or, and I knew that because she used to clean. I used to watch her clean.
Welcome to Fortune and Romance with your host Taylor Fortune, and
Yay, Shay. Good, and you?
today on the podcast we have Phoenix Rising. Phoenix, how are you? How's the wine? How's the home? Tell us everything.
Nice, just unwinding from my day. So,
Unwinding?
We're, we're
unwinding.
winding down from our day.
Yeah.
Yes, cheers. Well, we're
Cheers.
having our day, but you know what I mean.
I think the PA is scotching down from her day or whiskeying down from
No,
her day.
this is tequila. So at our morning podcast, I was drinking mimosa. Now I think I need an AA meeting. I don't know.
Oh my God. That's how she rolls. Well, we'll give BA a little bit of a break because on the East Coast, they're 3 hours ahead, so it's actually 8 o'clock for her.
Yeah.
So that's why it's tequila.
I mean, I think she's doing the same thing at 5, but it's also 8 o'clock now.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think I'm
Phoenix.
still like meditating right now from the chick we had on earlier, so I don't know.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, that was
Was
insane.
that the one that I saw with the what was it, the light language?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done some light language stuff with people on here before too.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, but forget about her for a minute. I want to hear about you, Phoenix, because you and I hang out. You do a lot of Wiccan, elemental magic, and starseed stuff. Tell us a little bit about you and what got you into that. Start wherever you like.
Um, well, I've always been a star seed, so that's something that I've just always known that was different. How people just, you just have this like feeling of not really belonging, in this type of world. There's always like a longing for something else, no matter what you do. You're always just like feeling like you're just not fulfilled, you know?
Yeah.
And also at a young age, I was also seeing spirits, and also a medium as well. So it all started really young. As I got older, I didn't really know how to use the gifts back then, so then it was just kind of more scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, oh my God, there's like a ghost in my room, or. So it took a lot, with my parents wanting to like, put me on medications and like what's wrong with her. And as like my 20s, I pretty much just kind of numbed everything, with just bad relationships, alcohol, drugs, I mean whatever, we all have our phases.
Yeah.
For the past
Last quite a while.
Yeah, but Taylor, okay?
We all have our decades.
Yeah. Here, it's good you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the past couple of years is when I had my more awakening to where I started just kind of reflecting more and understanding my gifts more, and you know starting to really figure out what I was, or who I was, or if I was crazy or not, you know. So now this is where I'm at. So I do readings online. I've been helping a lot of people. I'm going to start doing some more like Zoom courses. Also, I do a lot of like ritual magic as well, as far as just releasing into the universe. I like working with like herbs and holistic things, and also I really work with the elements a lot for healing.
I love that. I love mediums. I'm also addicted to watching tarot videos, so I don't know. I think I need an AA meeting and a tarot, tarot.
Tarot
what-
Anonymous?
Yeah, exactly. I need that. It's getting bad. It's like I go to sleep watching videos. I'm like, oh my God, my favorite reader's on. I gotta watch another video.
Right.
That can get addicting, though. You want to be careful with that, because if you have any type of empath abilities, which I do feel that you do have, you don't want to engage in too many, because things will ricochet onto you.
Great. you're reading me then right now, because yes, I am an empath and I watch way too many, and I feel like I knew this already, but I don't stop.
You need to try to shift it and just know specific ones that you want to watch, because even in this type of world, there's going to be really good ones, and then they're going to have those phony ones, you know? So you still want to always protect your energy, even if you do just want to watch them, you know, because since you do have empath abilities, you just want to make sure that you're not letting any frequencies come into your own traumas because you're watching someone else's. You know what I mean? Because with empaths, we can be around someone that's in pain and all of a sudden we feel worse than we did before we were hanging out with this person.
So true. That is so true. Taylor, that is so true. That's what's been going on with me. That's why I shut off so many people and block so many people. I can't take on all the energy. It's too much for me. I have to talk to somebody and I already know like what's going on in their personal life. It messes with me.
Yes.
What's an example of a kind of person that you need to block? Like, what is it about their energy that is draining to you?
People that are chronic complainers.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it. People that blame the world for their fucking problems. I'm like, listen, stop complaining. Fix it, dude. I mean, you know, ma'am, fix it. I'm just saying, this therapy, this free therapy, you don't have to watch a tarot YouTube. YouTube's for everything. You can probably find a therapist on YouTube. I don't know. Go to a medium. I don't know. Figure it out. I'm so tired of hearing people complain. You can fix it. If I can do it, so can you.
BA, everybody.
The nighttime is so much better.
Yeah, I know.
It's a whole nother level. It's like the after dark.
Yeah, that's right. Fortune and Romance After Dark. Melissa, I should say Phoenix. Phoenix, tell us a little more about this mediumship thing, because I always feel like the supernatural is definitely like the most alluring thing in spirituality.
So I mean, with my mediumships that I do, so you know how like I know that you do readings for people obviously in the flesh and you do your tarot stuff, you can start to kind of feel the energy. Even though you are using your cards, you're also using your intuitions. You know what I mean? You're using your own feelings and you're receiving your own downloads. So as far as when I do mediumship readings, it's not really different than when I do one-on-one readings with someone that's alive. It's like the same tapping into what I can hear through someone's mind than what I can hear through a spirit mind. But the only thing with spirits is that when I do the readings, I have to have people have a pen and paper ready, have them be centered more to receiving. And I always say take notes, because sometimes things come so quickly that they might not understand at that specific moment. So they write it down and then they'll like call me later and be like, oh my God, like you're not going to believe this, you know? Because spirit doesn't really know, like, you know, they're in a different form, you know? So they'll throw like, you know, colors or smells or a specific name, or they're laughing at 1 minute, or they're doing these things and this person might not understand it at first. But you really want to be centered. Like if I'm having a bad day or if I'm in like my own funky mood, I won't do mediumship readings for people, because I want to be really at peace with myself to center people's loved ones, because it's really special for people that, you know, I've done mediumship readings for people that lost their children, that lost their parents, you know, lovers in car crashes. I mean, everything, you know, and I want to do the best possible where my energy is really, you know, that's why grounding, meditation, all these things are really important, you know, for you to be able to really listen, you know, if that makes sense. I mean, I know you guys aren't mediums, but that's how it works. It's literally almost like walking into a room, being an empath and being able to be like, knowing everything that's going on in everyone's lives and not really understanding why. It's the same thing when you start to contact with spirit. We all have the abilities. You'll start to just center it more. It's just more when your third eye is really open. You're going to just start hearing different things like, oh, that's my daughter. And you're like, well, what do you mean? I don't see a lady there, you know? And then if I tell this person, like, you have a strong mother energy around you, they're like, oh, my mom just passed away, or like, you know? So it gets intense. So I try not to just do random readings. Like when I go to the grocery store, it's stressful most days. Just
really?
To read everybody's energies. Yeah, I don't even leave my house much. I don't even hang out with people lately much anymore. I literally moved in the middle of nowhere.
Taylor, I'm sorry. She reminds me of my friend Joanna, the medium, and my friend that lives down the street. What you just said is what she tells me all the time. She has a hard time going into public places. Like, we did an event where I sold my lashes, and she sold her bracelets and did psychic readings, and she felt so out of her element because all the energies in the room, she was like frantic. She's like, I can't do this. I was like, no problem, you can go. You know?
Yeah, that's how it's been the past year. Like before in my 20s, like I told you, when I used to numb everything, I wasn't really like my true self. So now that I'm my true self, I literally moved to a city where I know nobody. I don't have any family here. I'm just like, boom. So like my gifts have been getting better. And now when I do go out, it doesn't mean that I'm learning how to really talk to spirit and talk to my, like today I'm just going to be human form, like I don't want to receive any messages. Like once you really start contacting spirit, you can just tell them like, hey, I don't want to talk to anyone today, like love and respect, but like today is my day to just go out, and that's why I do drink my Jesus juice. I never like to promote drinking alcohol, but the thing is that I stopped drinking hard alcohol 6 months ago. I just need something because I suffer from anxiety my whole life, especially with being a medium and downloading everyone's energies. It's like I get panic attacks all the time. So it's like, it just calms me. People pop pills, people do what they got to do. My mom's like, you need to stop drinking. I'm like, well, then look at your prescription drawer with like all your freaking pills that you take. I go, you guys don't drink wine, but let me take a Xanax, or, hopefully mom's sorry if you watch this because she follows all of Taylor's stuff.
No, it's okay.
Apparently her mom likes me a lot.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, like this is just something that I like. I sip on it. I feel that I'm in power with it, and it relaxes me, and it just makes me feel normal, to be completely honest.
Yeah, who doesn't love a glass of wine or 5? It's great.
Yeah, I'm not like the 5.
I'm kind of I'm kind of a 2 guy, like, too many.
I get Taylor to drink at least 1 or 2 glasses just to chill when he comes over, but I give him the little glasses because I know, your health issues, and I wouldn't want to give you anything that's going to harm you.
No, it's true. I become a lightweight in my older medically, threatened years.
Yeah, a little Jesus juice and some rituals is always fun. I know.
Yeah.
Agreed. It's really good. I have to have like cheese too with it. Like cheese and wine just goes so well.
Oh, me too. I get like this little blueberry goat cheese.
Me too. I just bought that. I just had some. Well, it didn't go.
My favorite. Okay, that one's so good. It really goes the best with red wine because it brings out the flavor of like the blueberries.
Yep. I had a bottle of Camus last night. Oh God, we need to stop. I really sound like I have a problem.
Yeah, you want to make a little snack and come back in a couple minutes? It's like she's gonna watch popcorn to our own podcast, like have her own like movie set up.
No, listen.
It's later for her. She deserves her snacks.
You deserve it, BA. You deserve it.
No, hey, listen, you like the spicy popcorn when you come over.
Oh, that was the best popcorn.
My son made Taylor the spicy popcorn, and now he's like, "Are you gonna make the spicy popcorn again?"
Spicy popcorn's a thing. I love popcorn, and the spicy popcorn was a thing.
It's custom made. It was like Tapatio popcorn.
Yeah, we put like Tapatio and hot sauce in it, and shake it up, and it's just delicious.
No, I've been living under a rock. I didn't even know that was a thing. Can you ship it out to me?
No, just pop the popcorn, put some hot sauce in there, and just shake it like a salt shaker,
I can do that very well.
Okay, I got some real questions here because
okay, I can't wait.
Yeah. I am personally always intrigued by people who have who are in touch with the paranormal, see ghosts at a young age, because let's face it, I mean, that's a very terrifying thing for a child. So what was that like, seeing ghosts, spirits, entities, whatever it was? What did you see and how did it feel?
Well, when I was younger, I was completely not scared because when you're younger, you're just more pure. So like you're just kind of really seeing the spirit for what it is. It wasn't anything scary. But then when you tell your parents, like, oh, there's an old lady, and then the neighbors are like, oh, the old lady like used to live here, like she died in the back room, or and I knew that because she used to clean. I used to watch her clean.
Like how clearly? What are you talking, like an apparition, or are you talking like, hey, there's an old lady right
back
there?
then it was super clear. Like I saw her as a person, but I knew that she wasn't alive.
Dude, I would flap. I'm out.
Well, I used to tell my family, and they didn't believe me. And then she used to not like the stuff my dad would put on TV, and she would change the channel all the time. And my dad always thought that it was the cable, and he's like watching like a sports or something, and I would see her grab the remote and change it and say something. And then I would tell my dad, well, she changed it. He's like, who changed it? Because I was like 6 years old. And then if you were to look at the remote, I grabbed it and you could see the indentation on the change button was pushed in. And he's like, that's just the remote. And I'm like, no, she's holding it and she's laughing right now because she doesn't want to watch what you're watching. This is her house, she says. So my parents just thought I was crazy for like literally most of my life until like possibly like eighth or ninth grade. Then they just I got on medications, but like I said, I went through a big numbing stage throughout this life because I'm in reincarnation. So I this is my 11th life as well. I'm very old soul. I'm like 1,000 something years old.
You look great for your age.
Would the kind of medication they put you on, would that be the kind that they treat people for schizophrenia with, or what type of medication?
No, it was just they just said that I suffer from anxiety. So it was just
Oh, okay.
basic. And it wasn't, and my mom, since I was so little, she would never give me like strong anxiety medication. It was like something very mild because I still had a function. And then just like, antidepressants because they say like there was a lack of serotonin in my brain.
Hmm.
So they would always say that she's lacking something in her brain. But when I would take this stuff, I would tell my mom literally that I wouldn't remember half of the morning. I remember going to school and like my friends would talk to me, I guess, like before school when you would talk to your friends before like first period, like in middle school and high
Yeah.
school. I guess I would talk to these people and then I would go to like class and stuff and I'd see them at like lunch and I wouldn't remember talking to them in the morning. So like the
All the
medication
drugs that they were giving you.
yeah, it was all the crap. Because I would tell my mom, like, I don't even remember talking to my friends in the morning or like where my sister would park her car. She's like, meet me, after school at the car. And I'm like, when did we drive here? It was almost like, the medicine was worse than just accepting and figuring out your own gifts and intuitions. But back then when I was little, like this stuff was all frowned upon. I feel that we've really grown into people that are like really intuitive, people that are mediums and people that have gifts. Instead of people fearing them now, they're more embracing them and they're learning how to cope with them other than just trying to numb them.
That's what this whole world is right now, is trying to dumb people down and numb them and put poison in them. So,
Well, because it's a spiritual awakening. That's why it's the hardest right now. They're trying to make robots.
yeah. They really generally are trying to make everyone a robot. It's absolutely insane. And the people that don't see it, I can't even get mad at it anymore because they're just not awakened. And I was at that point at some time in my life and I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different because I was conditioned. We all were, as soon as we came into this earth, to only know, what we learned from our parents, what we learned from whoever raised us. And then, now as I'm older and I didn't realize everything that really is going on in the world till probably I'm 35 now. So 32 maybe is when I had my awakening. And I was like, I want to go back to sleep. I was just like so horrified at what really goes on in this world. I'm like, I would rather just be like the rest of the sheep in the world. I didn't want to know anything anymore because when you go down the rabbit hole, sometimes you can't come back. Here I am.
Oh, you can't. I did the same thing. I'm 36 and I had my strong more awakening a few years ago, even though I've always been different. But I was also told that I was this angel on earth and this like all these things. And I remember like walking in my backyard, like even like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I do all my grounding there. And I was like, I thought this angel on earth thing was really super cool, when I first heard it, but now it's like I just want to be fucking normal.
Yeah.
And I just got like mad at like my own guides, and then like this huge white feather like appeared like on my foot, so it's in like my altar now. So then I was like, okay, I get it, so it's just like the synchronicities, and when people awaken they just start to like see things in a different light. You're driving and instead of seeing the red or green light, you're seeing the hawk on the corner or the birds flying in front of you, or you just start to look at the world the way it's supposed to be looked at. But when we're so programmed, we're like, for work, the light is red. I keep getting every red fucking light. I spill my coffee. Like all of a sudden, you're becoming in the matrix instead of being in the spiritual of it, of driving. Like, I saw this amazing bird today. I don't even know what this bird is. I've been like researching this fucking bird, And this is what the awakening is right now. That people are starting to look at the world differently like that because the ones that are awakening, we're sick of all the bullshit. Like we don't want to like look at the red or the green light or the yellow light. I don't give a fuck if I'm late to work anymore. Like, what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
So I was looking at a fucking bird, bitch. That's what I was doing.
Yeah,
And you know, I had to capture it because I don't give a fuck about you.
exactly. So the other day, I mean, this happens all the time, but I was driving on the highway and I see angel numbers on license plates more times than I can count, and it really just it freaks me out sometimes. But I'll zone into like people's license plate, and I'm like, I'm like, oh my god, okay, stay in the lane, and then I'll like be researching like, what is 333? What is 66? Okay, all right, and I'm like, all right, calm down, Beth Ann. Like, who's trying to talk to me right now? It gets overwhelming.
That's good because you're divinely protected and you are seeing these things, so you're gonna always swerve the car. Like you're gonna be fine. But that just shows that your third eye is awakening and you're open to receiving messages from your guides, from your angels, from every type of higher dimension. Then when people are just more looking at the license plate to like, oh, let me call and complain on this person because I'm late to work, you know? It's the bitterness in people that aren't awakened.
Right. That's so on point. I have a funny story. Can I say it? You guys ready? Okay,
Your
cool.
podcast.
Whatever. So related to like the third eye, what she was just talking about. So I actually made a dentist appointment, a way overdue dentist appointment, just to get, just the usual cleaning and everything. So I was talking to the girl that works at the front, and so I said to her, I was like, okay, like what appointments do you have? Like they're a month booked out, which is fine. And I said, I have a recommendation. I don't want any fluoride in my cleaning, like none. No fluoride. Is that a thing? And she acted like no one has ever asked her that question before. And I was serious though. I don't do the fluoride toothpaste. I don't do fluoride in anything. I purify my water. I'm like sick with it. And she was like, let me check with the dentist. Like, I'll get back to you. I said, okay, get back to me. Here's my number, and then I'll make the appointment. Okay, thanks.
Oh yeah, because the dentists, I mean, they're all about fluoride. But yeah, I've been doing the same, and then I went through this weird. I know I tell Taylor, Taylor that I'm writing a book, and I don't like to give all my secrets out. But I had this huge thing where like I was literally being called to do certain things. So like I was even starting to drink distilled water, like all these things to really open my third eye. And the fluoride, that's what you're doing. Like where when you awaken, you want to release like certain toxins, you know. But that's only a small part of it because I feel that like we're so like pure of spirit that like these like avatar bodies that we can handle a little bit of stuff. But when we start awakening, we get in like defense mode too, because we're just kind of like I don't want this garbage, you know?
That's me.
Yeah, because I feel the same way. But I definitely like that you're responding that way. But I think in this 3D world right now, we'll have to find like eventually there'll be like holistic dentists and things like that. But right now they're going to be like, well, fluoride, like you don't care about cavities, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just going to be like stupid shit, you know?
So just deal with it pretty much just for like that one appointment.
But I want you to speak your mind on it because that's already putting it into the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Oh, but even if you tried 2 or 3 different dentists, you know?
Yeah, I did. I was trying to find it. Like, I guess there's no such thing as the holistic dentist. So I guess my teeth are just gonna fall out of my mouth. I don't know.
You're just gonna get
all this work my parents paid for braces, retainers. They're going away. They're falling out. Fuck the fluoride. They're falling out. I'll get dentures. Fuck it.
You'd sacrifice your teeth to stand strong on your anti-fluoride campaign.
I would rather open my third eye and have no teeth.
She's serious too. She's stubborn.
No, I am. Are you an Aries?
That's my moon sign.
Yeah.
I'm an Aries sun sign.
Oh my god, my dad's an Aries. He's such a he has like 6 placements of Aries in his chart, I think, which is a lot. He's such a kind soul though. My dad, he's a gem.
I'm crazy, so I'm an Aries sun. I've always met people like ever since I had my awakening. Like I'm so happy that I moved away because people that like follow me now, they're like, "What the fuck happened to her? Like, does she like talk to dead people now and like spirits and shit?" Like everyone's talking all this shit about me now, like where I used to live. But Well, normally I would have kicked their asses. I mean, I'm a rebel too, you know. You know, but then you have to be a little bit of both. You have to have the light and the dark. But it's kind of like they only talk because I'm not there to be like, well, what do you want to say to my face? You know, but the part of the healing process is to starting to rid away from that energy because that's just going to put us in that funk. But
It's
you know,
hard.
to be completely honest, we all have to still have it because that's what makes us warriors. That's what makes us fighting for what's right, and that's what keeps us aligned. We can't all be like, you know, these like little saints all the time. You know, we just have to know what's right and wrong, and that's what we're here for.
We all need to have a little street in us. You know what I mean? A little street quality.
Yes, a little gangsta.
Yeah. What?
Okay, I want to hear two things because both of you have talked about your spiritual awakening being at a certain point. BA, you said 32, and
Yeah.
Phoenix, you said something not far away from that. So, BA, tell us what specifically happened to you that caused your spiritual awakening, and then let's do Phoenix after. Like, what was the event? We've talked about it before, but I want to hear it again.
Yeah, of course. So I was in a very toxic relationship for far too long because I don't know if I can blame it on my Scorpio sun or that I'm an empath, but I feel like every person that comes into my life, I'm meant to heal them. That's at least what's been the history. Everyone that comes into my life, they have some sort of childhood trauma or you name it, they've had it. And I just feel like I can fix them. I feel like I'm the fixer. And that shouldn't be what I do, but I feel like I was called to do that. So that's what I did. And in my last relationship, it was very toxic. It was very traumatizing. It wasn't physically abusive, but it was very mentally abusive with a narcissist type individual who tried to control everything I did. I couldn't see family, see friends. I actually related to, I don't know if we talked about the last episode, but I watched the show on Netflix called Maid, and I related so much to it. I mean, I wasn't a maid, but I mean, other aspects of her relationship and everything, and her mother and everything really hit close to home. And I watched it 3 times already, and it's a very long series. And I cried like every single time, like a little bitch, but whatever, it's fine. Um, but my spiritual awakening was definitely, it started probably when I left my last relationship. I had to get, a restraining order and I've never looked back, but my life has so improved so drastically. I'm so happy. I'm so free, and being free is everything. That's why with everything going on in the world right now, with them trying to, take away our freedom, it really affects me because I worked so hard to get out of a part of my life where I was not free at all. I was in my own mental prison and actual prison, I felt like. So
Yeah, trauma, trauma and spiritual awakening go hand in hand.
yeah.
That's what's making you strong, the strongest, though.
Yeah.
It's keeping you strong.
Right.
Phoenix, your turn. Let's hear it. What was the
Yeah.
inciting incident or the time era?
Well, mine's the same as her, but with her, it's different. I had a cycle of the same thing that she just explained since I was about 16 years old. So every boyfriend, but I dealt with physical abuse. I used to get like beat up and everything um, at 16, and then it ricocheted through all my relationships. Um, I'm on my second divorce. My recent divorce, he wasn't abusive in that sort of way. It was more just that we just didn't really connect, and we were just like going through our own traumas when we met, that we were trauma bonded. But before him, like I want to say 3 or 4 boyfriends back were all the same thing that she exactly described. Um, so I've been single now for 6 months only. And my spiritual awakening was 2 months ago, but as far as what she's explaining, for me, I only kept rising. I started just awakening and then just realizing my worth, or realizing like my gifts, and then really starting to do, my mediumship and things, and I was told by toxic people, like, who would ever buy your book? Like, you're not famous. Who gives a shit to talk to you? Or like, why would someone want a reading by you? Or like, just, like, I'd like to call it mundane behavior because it's just kind of like bullshit. It's like, just because you're an awakened and you want this 401k plan, or like, I'm going to like go in my father's footsteps, and just bullshit. Like for me, I've always been different. I used to write poetry. I'm a singer. Like I feel that star seeds are really like spiritually just inclined, that we always have these inner gifts, but like we've hid them away from society because the people that we're attracting to grow, to become in our higher selves, don't accept that type of lifestyle.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know you're a star seed? I like to ask this to all star seeds.
It's just a knowing. It's just like I was said in the beginning. It's just it's an unbelonging feeling. Like always wanting to go home, feeling like I remember being little, looking in the mirror where most kids are like 4 or 5 and like they're just smiling. I used to like look in the mirror like, oh my God, like I'm a human. Like I used to always say like I'm me, and I used to like touch my face and say I'm me. And I remember doing that when I was little. And like it's just so weird now when I think about it because it's like what fucking kid does that shit? Like most are like playing Barbies and like you know what I mean? But I was like, oh
I
my
used
God, like this is me, you know? And I was like 6 years old. I mean, it was just like I used to wake up and be like, oh my God, like I exist still. Like it was just the weirdest thing. And I'm writing this book, like I told you, I'm gonna really put detail into it, but I know that a lot of people will relate to it because it's things that people don't even notice that they ever did. You
I
know?
still do that. I still look in the mirror and am just surprised of the fact that I exist, trying to kind of spiritually or psychoanalyze what I am, why I'm
You're
here.
a star seed, and I know that I don't like to make it seem like a star seed has to be this huge, big ordeal, you know, like
Yeah.
some people make it seem. A star seed to me is just really just like an awakened soul. Like we literally were reincarnated here because we have repeated cycles throughout our lives to be at this point to gain these gifts that we're going to receive and that we're already receiving that other people don't see. That's why we're the awakened.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of friends like fall to the wayside because it's really hard to have a lot of conversations with the people that are just, I guess, stuck in the 3D, if you would call it that. And they're not awakened to what we are. So having just the regular conversation, they look at you like you're crazy. So
But
it's,
that's why too
Yeah.
that you were feeling those energies. That's why you started blocking things because you didn't associate with this type of mindset anymore. And then when you did associate with whatever they were doing, it was reflecting and ricocheting on you where you were looking at yourself differently all of a sudden because you were starting, that's what empaths are. So you're starting to think like, oh shit, like she's doing this, so maybe I need to do this shit too. But then you're like, but I don't want to do that. It's like you're fighting your ego with your higher self constantly. And it's because of this that you're already into your higher self, so you're already blocking this shit out, but it doesn't mean that we don't get like sucked back into it because like you said, when it's like I want to be normal again, you know, sometimes people start to feel like they just want to be numb, you know, they want to just fit in or whatever the hell it is. But I feel that the awakened, we're the warriors, we're the strong ones, you know, we're the ones that are rising and we're the ones that are going to have the happiest outcome because we're doing the work.
that's why I feel like I connect more now than ever with just people online, a lot of people online, and I don't really I notice myself a lot of people wanting to like just even girls, they just want to be a part of my life. They want to like just see what I'm doing and they want to go to dinner and stuff and want to hang out. And I notice myself just saying like, listen, like I don't want to make up excuses, but I don't want to give my energy away freely because I did that in the past. All I did was give my energy away to these energy vampires in my life, and I'm so protective over
But I
it.
know that you notice it when you go out with these people. You notice it instantly. You smile, you'll take a selfie with them, you'll do what you got to do, but you already know that you don't feel comfortable and you want to go home.
Yeah, and I just want to go back home to my bedroom. I love my bed. I work out of my bed sometimes. I'm in my office right now at home. I love my bed. I could live in that one room just because I would feel safe. Feeling safe to me is everything because in so many situations in my life I did not feel safe. So this is a safe place and I don't like leaving it. So when people want to make plans, I'm like, and Taylor, I'm a very outgoing person. Like I can go out and be the life of the party, right?
You and I are what they call social introverts. So yeah, you were the best of both worlds. And if you go out, you're gonna fucking tear it up, and everybody's gonna be looking at you. But
Yeah.
ultimately, where your heart lies, and probably Phoenix, you're like this too. Where your heart lies is as an introvert, being on your own. But so
Yeah.
a social introvert is somebody who likes being alone, but they also like going out and getting some fucking attention and having a little bit of fun and starting some shit once in a while.
Yeah, that's how I am too. But it's like you know that your inner lies different, but you're kind of playing with your outer. That's what
Yeah.
I say. We like to play with our ego. Like I learned to love my ego, my inner demons, all of it, because it's like that just makes me who I am, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
And I also love my higher self and my spiritual self to where I'm like, okay, well, this was fun, but now I want to get back to like what I really want in my life, you know?
Mhm.
And that's what we're here to learn. We're here to grow and understand both aspects because until we're in the deepest of darkness, we will never see the light. So the most awakened have been through the worst traumas, through the worst pain in life, no matter what, because that's why we see the light now. People that have like not been through any sort of pain, they're like robots to me. But when I was younger, I wanted to like be a robot too. But like I've always been independent. Like I've always been like one that someone looked up to. I've always been a badass, which is so funny because I just read the back of your thing.
BA,
Um, and
badass
I,
Beth Ann.
What?
Yeah, you're
yeah,
disappearing. Your
so
lower body's disappearing.
We know. I refuse to put my green screen up. Just deal with it.
but yeah, you know, you've always been that. Like even when we had our down moments, I feel like all the awakened, like we've always known that we have these strengths and these powers, you know. And we're just going to keep rising is what I say because I have good days and I have bad days and I have high days and low days and that's what keeps us growing. You know, no one's fucking perfect at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Far from it. Actually, so you know how when you have your high school yearbook, you know, you have your picture, and then you have a quote that you can put in the yearbook.
Mm-hmm.
So mine was, they actually spelt it wrong, which, I mean, how hard is your job? But what it said was, don't try so hard to fit in when you were born to stand out. And I've just always had that since high school. That's just been my quote. I think I even have that in my Instagram bio. I believe in that. Like I've always stood out in one way or another, and I've just never felt like I've fit in. And I still don't. And you know what? I own it now. I don't want to fit in. I don't want to fit in with anyone. I want to be my own person, and I want people to look at me and be like, I want to be like her. She stands out from the crowd. She doesn't fit in the crowd. She's out.
Yeah.
Because you're a leader. You're more of someone to look up to. You're not someone that's in the herd. You're someone that's gonna be heard, you know, and that's what makes you special, and that's why you're different than most.
Thank you. I'm like so emotional tonight.
Yeah. I
I
love
mean,
BA.
you're
We have
beautiful, but your inner you is like 100 times more beautiful. You know, your outer appearance is always what we want our inner appearance to be, but yours shines even brighter when you really go deep within yourself.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful soul.
I don't know if I've been on this earth as long as you have, but I sometimes feel like I have. I don't know, but I feel like I have. I feel like I've always been an old soul. I feel like I don't belong, like, for years and
You can
years. I'm
tell me
like,
your birthday and I can do it. I don't do numerology or astrology, but I can do some calculations with your birthday to see what number you are. I'm life path 11, which is 11th life, and I know that I'm super old, but I just feel that with you, you remind me of like Marilyn Monroe type vibe, but like you're very like sexy on the outer, but your inner, you know, there's pain, but when you go through your inner is more beautiful than your outer will ever be naturally, you know.
Hmm.
I love Marilyn Monroe.
You're like a natural beauty.
Thank you.
Love it.
I told her too. I'm like, we're not crying tonight. Remember when I
Yeah,
messaged
yeah,
you?
we're not crying.
I cry in everything. I do. I'm an emotional
I
person.
can't cry. I just, I wanted to just,
That's nice, and you actually mean that. That's nice. I feel like I say this to Taylor all the time. And you know, my close friend, I said that you remind me of her, Joanna. She's a medium too, and she said the first thing before she even knew who I was, she said your inner is far exceeds your exterior, and I was like, thank you. I wish people would see that more, but I'm
Well,
too
do you know
busy in my
what
bedroom.
humans do? Do you know what's noticing is that the people that you are ridding out of your life are the ones that aren't meant to see. And then you're going to get your soul family and your soulmates and just everyone around you that's meant to see this inner part of you. The other people, they don't matter anymore.
No.
Unfortunately, you wish them well and you send them away, but like you're only going to grow from it. And it doesn't matter like what people would have seen it. The right ones are going to see it. And they are seeing it.
I
Yeah.
remember back in the day, like pre I guess we call it, for me, pre-spiritual awakening was the same thing as like my medical experience. But even before that, when I used to go to parties and things like that, when you first arrive, the conversation is boring and whatever, and people are just getting to know each other. But I remember always having this feeling of like waiting for the conversation to get interesting. Like at some point, some bond is going to happen here on this night. People are going to start talking about crazy, wild shit, whatever it is. And, you start to realize as it becomes 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, like, conversation isn't going anywhere. There's no like new layers of depth being added. It's staying at the exact same level, the exact same frequency as when you walked in the fucking door, except now people are more drunk. But there's no more connection in any way at all. And I used to wonder, I'm like, is it me? Is it the wrong people? Is the world just not operating on any kind of interesting vibration at all? And I just had a really hard time with it because I would just get so fucking bored all the time.
I was the same way, and I feel that that's proving to you that you are special because most people at a party are thinking like, is this girl gonna want to like go home with me? Or like women are like, do my boobs look nice? Or like, do I need to go put on lip gloss? Or like, let's go to the bathroom. Oh my God, he smiled at me. But you were actually thinking like, is anyone gonna say some fucking like real shit? And that's how I always was too. Like I'm going with my friends in the bathroom, like putting on like lip gloss with them, thinking like, well, I guess that guy's cute. I mean, I don't know, like for me, it was just always like so fucking boring, And like we all just kind of lived because we thought this was life. But like when you awaken, that's not life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
If
you think about it, we're already checking our makeup, or a dude's already like, does she like me? Or like the whole thing's already so like egotistically based on. And then if it goes on jealousy, like, oh well, that girl like looked at him too, like, well, I can't possibly like deal with that, like that's what I used to deal with. Like if someone like looked at my man, I was like, I'm gonna like beat the crap out of you in the parking lot. But it's like that's not okay, because like if I was secure in myself and my man, it would be like, yeah, look at us because we're shining bright like a fucking diamond.
Yep.
But it's the insecurities of this 3D dimension that we're like, well, fuck, she's like prettier than me, so maybe I need to be prettier, or like he's better looking than my man, so maybe I should go mess with him. Like it's like all these constant battles of bullshit. And like to me, like that's not true. And when people awaken, we can fall in love with people that we wouldn't even normally maybe look at in a 3D dimension. You start to look at people's souls and just someone that makes you feel good at the end of the day. It's not all about like, am I the prettiest, or am I the most muscular, or am I this or that? It's like you start to look at people as a freaking fucking soul, especially people like us that have been through the ringer. We've been through shitty relationships, abuse, fucking divorces. I mean, everything. It's like now we're just like, fuck, like I just want to love somebody that loves me back.
Just want to be happy, just want to be, have everything reciprocated that you put out, because I mean, I've always put out good intentions. I've always overextended myself, but it's been to the wrong people, and I never got anything back. And I was always wondering, I'm like, why am I consistently drained at the end of the day? I'm trying to seek validation from the person that I'm dating, and I'm going out. I want the person that I'm with to be like, that's my girl. That's mine. I'm so proud of her. You walk in a room like that. I don't care what the person looks like. I want to be like, that is mine. And not in that way where it's like, that's mine, no one else can have it. But like, you're proud of the person. And
yeah, it's just more that you guys are so in tune with one another that the outside world doesn't even matter anymore. It doesn't affect you because you shine so brightly in that way. And that's what I believe twin flame is. But I also believe that that's soulmate. Not everyone's going to have, like, some twin flames are constantly going to butt heads forever in like every lifetime. It could take like so many lifetimes, but there's not doesn't mean that there's not those soulmates that are going to bring these things out for us and keep us on a higher level, to where we're just looking at life in a different reality. We're not looking at life as like, oh my God, this or that, because like I've done that most of my life. I mean, like my soon-to-be ex-husband, we're going through a divorce. His ex, I mean, super pretty, fake boobs, like all this stuff, and there's anything wrong with that. But I was just always thinking, like, fuck, I don't look anything like this broad, like, do I have to like start working out more? Like,
yeah, everyone goes through that. I go through it too with people. I see like these models on Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, we all know it's all a lot of filters, a lot of this, a lot of that, and everything, and it's like, do I need to get bigger boobs? Do I do this? It's like, no, back up. I worked on myself, and I'm very proud of I self-love is everything with me because I did not have that before last year before.
Yeah, but that's what's making you grow. Because that's what made me grow. 6 years ago, I was like, oh, fuck, like, and then I'm like 10 years older than her, and like, they're all immature, like laughing at me. And that was my ego. But now that I'm older, it's like, I just embrace my sexuality. I embrace myself. Like, I try to be natural. I know that I'm sexy. I love myself. When you just start loving yourself, it's going to shine for everyone to see. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to pop a filter on it. Like, who doesn't want to look a little extra highlighted? I mean, come on. It's fucking social media. But at the end of the day, you feel it with inside yourself. You're like, you're looking at yourself. And that's why I tell a lot of my clients to do a lot of mirror work. Look at yourself without makeup. Look at yourself naked if you have to. Look at yourself as you. Embrace your beauty, your masculine energy, your feminine energy, and just be you. And like, you literally will grow even more sexier when you do this, just from the divine, I feel, because it's like you're really accepting yourself and your avatar in this space.
Yep. I couldn't agree more with everything you just said. And I think people see it too when you actually truly deep down love yourself. I feel like people can see that and they see the light within you. And that's why I feel like, and I'm sure you guys go through it too, but if you like walk into a room, it's like people just look, it's like you have that bright light. And some people are intimidated by it, and that's not my problem. Put on sunglasses.
Seriously, that's why just own your shit. If someone's like maybe judging you because you look a little different than they do, I'm pretty in my own skin, and I'm confident in my own body, and I'm gonna rock my fucking shit.
Woo!
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
I'm like, I need a refill.
I know. I wish I had something. I got my water right here, but.
It's all right. We got T-minus like 5 minutes until I can refill my tequila, so.
Exactly.
I'll get you some Jesus juice on Friday, Taylor. We're doing ritual. Make sure you bring your cauldron, because I told you I have stuff set up already.
Yeah, I know, right? Super moon. I'm
Oh,
excited.
that's right, the super moon.
Yeah, and we're dancing this time, so bring your little shorts.
yeah.
Bring the shorts, Taylor. You need to come out with your own short line.
I know the fortune shorts.
Yeah.
Come
Yes.
on.
Are you kidding me?
I've already recorded, but we're dancing under the moon. More skin, the better.
Yeah,
That's
agreed.
it. Can you guys send me a video, please, and just make my night? Because I'm actually.
We'll send it just to you, because we're not gonna have. My lighting sucks. I'm literally in my bathroom because Taylor didn't like the lighting in my office because it was shitty.
I love it.
Yeah. Here's the thing about branding my shorts. I don't know if any other guy would wear them.
Okay, then I'm gonna buy you a pair of shorts for Christmas, like some appropriate ones.
All right.
For moon rituals, will be like 4 inches above the knee.
Yeah.
I dig it. I love all this. Yes. Very
Anyway,
cool.
yeah. So I guess Phoenix, why don't you wrap up just by telling us one more story about maybe like a client you've had, what kind of like medium work you've done with them, and then just pitch everything you got on Instagram and wherever else.
So you mean like a specific client?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you don't have to break confidentiality, but I want to actually hear something specific about like.
Well, there was one that was really good, but I don't want to say names.
No, of course not.
So there was a woman that was DMing me to do a reading for her, but I could tell that she was a little under the influence, like drinking or whatever. And she got a little aggressive with me when I kind of stated something about wanting to know either the name or a picture of the spirit that they want to contact. And then I can take notes on it because that's how I like to do things. It doesn't have to be a picture. It could be a name or a picture with no name. It's just, I like to focus on one specific spirit. If someone like, I lost the love of my life or I lost my mom, like I want to really focus. And that doesn't mean other spirits won't come through. But I can sense her energy was like a little bit off. So there was like, some drinking, I would say. So she started messaging me and getting a little bit aggressive, like telling me like 50 different names and asking me like, if you were who you were, you would know what each name meant. And I'm like, that's not how I work. I go, I just don't think I'm the best fit for you. Maybe I can recommend somebody else. Okay. I was being nice. But then like, she wouldn't stop. And then there was this one day where I was cooking dinner and her son came to me while I was cooking. He's like, please don't give up on my mommy. He's like, she's just, she's having a hard time and she really wants to talk to me. Like, can you please help us? And I'm like cooking and I'm thinking like, what the fuck? Like I'm listening to music and like my kids are in the background and I'm thinking like your mommy, like who the fuck's your mommy? Like at first, I hate to cuss, but like this was the experience as it was flowing, okay?
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, I think it was that one woman that gave me like 50 names and seemed like she was drunk and like angry. So then I ended up like calling her and I'm like, hey, we could go ahead and set something up. If you don't want to give me a name, it's fine. I go, but there's a really strong son energy. I feel that he was like either like a baby or toddler when he passed away. His voice sounds like a little boy. And she said his name instantly. She's like, oh my God, that's the first name I gave you. So then after that, we set up the appointment. And then throughout the appointment, he was with me, I swear, for the whole week. I mean, it was just like giving me messages. Oh, they had me cremated. My daddy wears me in a necklace. My mommy has me in a bracelet. And then he put ashes all over my feet when I got out of the shower. It was kind of freaky. I looked down and I didn't know where these ashes came from. And I was like, I wasn't smoking in my bathroom. It was just crazy. I can't even explain it. And then I told him, like, oh my, he's like, was I not supposed to do that? I'm like, no, I heard that you said that. And I didn't, when I did the reading for her, I didn't bring it up till the end. I'm like, was he having to be cremated? And does your husband wear him around his neck and you on, and she was like, oh my God, yes. And me and her became super close friends too now. Like she supports me on my page. She was like maybe the fourth mediumship reading I had ever done. Um, and that was probably the reading that like was really like heartfelt for me because it was just such like a young soul that gave me so much information that it was like undeniable.
Right. Wow, that's intense. Taylor, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine that happening.
No. That's yeah, that's wild. That is totally wild.
Well, if anyone else wants to experience anything that she's talking about right now, please plug yourself away because you have a lot of gifts.
Thank you. I know that I do, but I also have a lot of anxiety. So like I have the power to turn them on and off sometimes. So I feel that when I'm around like positive people, like we were saying, when we're around people that raise our vibrations, when we're happy in our own lives, like that's how my abilities get the strongest. If I'm really down and like depressed or not in a good headspace, I feel like I can't even talk to spirits anymore because it's like I'm like talking in my own head. So that's why I've been uplifting myself, doing my spiritual work, doing the inner work, hanging out with people that are on the same wavelength as me, and like just living my life for the way I'm supposed to be. Eventually, I'll be able to control it completely, but it's like, it's kind of freaky some days.
Oh, I can't even imagine. I give you all the credit in the world. I mean, the gift that God gave you is just something else, let me tell you. I can't even imagine that. I'm afraid of my own shadow, so I mean, can't imagine seeing spirits in my room. I mean, my dog scares me sometimes when he moves in bed, so I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's another thing too. You have to be in a positive headspace because for me, it's like I get attacked by bad stuff too because I'm like so open that I have to really close out and really, ground and all these things. Because I'll have like night terrors too, where they're not so pleasant things in my room.
Yeah.
So yeah, Phoenix, where can people get in touch with you? How can they book an appointment?
Yeah, so right now I'm just on Instagram, so phoenix.rising993. You can DM me for appointments. Link in my bio will take you to my website. I'm working on TikTok. I really want to work on TikTok. I've been getting called to TikTok forever. I'm at 800 followers now, so after 200 more, I can do lives on there and like make a link tree on there. But other than that, that's where I'm at right now. But I am going to eventually open up my own studio, and I'm starting to build myself in my city, which I'm bringing Taylor a part of that. So Friday we're going to go venture off and we're going to be passing out, business cards and just, I really want to work with people in person too. And that's how like, it just fills my heart with joy more when I can really just be in person readings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this was amazing. Taylor, I mean, she's a bad bitch. I love that.
I only bring the best.
Today's been one hell of a day, let me tell you. We got two girls on today, and I don't know, I like them both equally.
I know, right? I'm gonna go do my ritual meditation now on IG. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll wrap it up there. All right, Phoenix, thank you so
All
much
right,
for
love you
joining
guys.
us.
Nice to meet you, doll.
Yeah,
Nice to get to know you personally. Love your spirit. You're an amazing girl. Just keep rising. And anytime, you know, you're starting to feel down, DM me. I think we should do a reading. I won't charge you.
Oh my god. Merry Christmas to me.
yeah, friends for life. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Bye bye.